quarter of a century, as founder of Cobra Beer, I produced beer in the UK with British-grown barley, and I'm proud of the high quality of our agriculture sector's produce, leading to Cobra Beer winning 150 gold medals. Agriculture makes up just 0.6% of the UK's GDP, and for over a decade, I helped and worked with the management of my wife's uncle and aunt's family farm in the Free State in South Africa, thousands of acres comprising dairy, arable, sheep, cattle. And I thank the Noble Lord Roborough for initiating this very important debate. May I ask the Noble Lady the Minister about the closure of the Sustainable Farming Initiative Incentives SFI scheme? After Brexit, our farmers no longer had access to the Common Agricultural Policy, which provided significant financial support to farmers through subsidies. How are our farmers now going to be compensated for the loss not only of the CAP but now of the SFI? And farming groups, of course, are worried about the inheritance tax relief reforms, where inheritance tax now of 20% is being applied to family farms. The NFU thinks this threatens family farms and food security, estimating that 70,000 farms could be affected. And surely there is an argument for reversing this harmful policy. I give government credit for some of its initiatives, for example, extending the seasonal worker visa route for 5 years, investing £110 million in agri-tech through innovation programs, establishing the National Biosecurity Centre to combat animal diseases, and publishing a 25-year farming roadmap later this year. But would the Minister agree that we should prioritise farming in the spending review that's coming up, and we should increase the annual agricultural budget to £6 billion? And when it comes to the inheritance tax reforms, it's supposed to affect fewer than 500 estates, according to the government. But what if a farmer passes away within the next 7 years without having had the chance to plan the transition? And a survey by Family Business UK has found that over 200,000 jobs in family-run businesses and farms could be lost due to the government's decision to cap business and agricultural tax relief. The inheritance tax changes to take effect from next year limit the relief, as I've said earlier. 55% of family businesses have paused or cancelled investment. Nearly a quarter have stalled hiring or cut jobs. And the farming sector alone could lose almost 30,000 jobs. And the changes could reduce economic value by £14 billion. Surely, my lords, this policy is going to backfire, leading to sales of farms and lower taxation revenue for the government. And would the government consider reviewing this policy? There are alternatives, like a targeted tax relief for working farmers, a government underwritten insurance for elderly landowners, exempting the elderly, for example, those over 80, from tax changes, and also separating the agricultural property relief from business property relief. And the chair of the EFRA committee, Alistair Carmichael, said, agricultural property relief is not a loophole. It's been a deliberate policy of successive governments for the past 40 years, designed to avoid the sale and break-up of family farms. These changes will have a ripple effect across the whole rural community, and in some cases, farms will simply leave too little income for the inheritor, and they'll have too few other resources to pay the tax, and they'll be forced to sell part or all of the farm. And just to build on what the Noble Lord Caker said about access to medical care in rural areas, I'm proud to be the London chair of the ambassadors of the Cambridge Children's Hospital that is going to be built in conjunction with the University of Cambridge. Do Noble Lords realise, in the whole of East Anglia, a rural area, there is no children's hospital? They either have to go to Birmingham, where I was Chancellor of the University of Birmingham for 10 years, or they come here to Great Ormond Street. Now we will have a children's hospital for this large rural area. And with regard to self-sufficiency and food security, the UK produces 60% of domestic food consumption by economic value. We produce the majority of our grains, our meat, our dairy, and our eggs, and yet we have to import 40% of our food. So with the US tariff wars now destabilizing global supply chains, the NFU is concerned because the US is our second largest export market beyond the European Union. And it is the largest market for British agri-food products outside the European Union, and our farmers are proud of the quality of what we supply. Our Secretary of State for Business, Jonathan Reynolds, has said that there's a red line, that Britain will not accept hormone-treated beef and chlorine-washed chicken, a major sticking point in previous negotiations. So I conclude, my lords, it is so easy to take the farming and agricultural sector for granted. It should always, always be a top priority for any government at any time.